What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we jump onto the charts for this early start live stream, since it's pre-market right now, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a recommendation or suggestion to do anything at all. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content like Top 1 Futures, code RDF, Bookmap, and others. What is going on, chat? Welcome back to another live stream here. Let's go ahead and get the charts pulled up. I have no pre-market trade running this morning. Took a look when I got up about 5 a.m. Was tempted, set a couple alerts actually instead of just setting a limit order because I was a little bit cautious that we were just going to rip to the upside here on MNQ. I look at MNQ, NQ in pre-market, just seems to move a little bit more, and it's been setting up for those nice back to VWAP, back to these areas of high volume trades that I like to take. So my trade idea, alarm was going off here. My trade idea was a sweep of this level, 23,850s, all the way up here for a potential move back to VWAP. But again, I was kind of cautious. This is really a bullish recovery on FOMC right into the close. Complete fake out to the downside, huge push to the upside. We saw similar stuff on ES as well. So to be honest, I set an alert up there, but I don't know if I was gonna have the conviction to take a short off of this, fresh high. But that would have played back down towards VWAP. So now we got through 8:30 a.m. news here on MNQ. I got a 50K account loaded up. I got a 3-pack of these. I was talking about it yesterday. I trade these. Been trading these for pre-market. Got one pending a payout. These two are pretty damn close. These two are like 2 days away or less from being able to request a payout. Like I said, probably try to build a little bit more buffer in these. And then we'll swap over to the 7-pack of straight to fundeds for ES for NYSE Open. But for now, taking a look at this pre-market move. What's up, chat? What's up, Andrew? What's up, everybody? Yeah, man, we're up early. Yeah, we had 8:30 a.m. news, but I'm just pulling up early today. That's my game plan. Checking out what we got rolling for pre-market. Figured I would hop on early with you guys. Run this one right into NYSE Open, and see if we can't get some little scalpy moves going on NQ, maybe ahead of and/or into the Open. But figure we get the early start today. Yeah, look at you guys. You guys know me well. Whoa, Zach's starting early here. Yeah, we're starting early. What's up, Wolf? What's up, Andrew? What's up, Dre? What's going on, guys? So, taking a look at news. Gonna run the same structure that I usually do here. Otherwise, only thing that's gonna change is taking a look at MNQ ahead of NYSE Open. Taking a look at news for today and tomorrow. ForexFactory.com. It's a financial news site. Probably not the best one. You could use Financial Juice or Market Watch or a million other ones, but we had 8:30 a.m. news today. That kicked off not a whole lot of movement out of the market. Not much by way of news for the rest of the day. 9:45 a.m., 10:30 a.m. These are low impact, yellow folder. Tomorrow we get a little more dicey. We got NFP Friday, right? This is going to be a big market mover at 8:30 a.m. Traditionally, really, market hasn't been moving too much on red folder news. We've been talking about that a little bit in my community. It's funny, the market moves way more on like a Trump or tariff comment than it does on anything else these days, which is kind of interesting. But I would expect we get some volatility off the 8:30 a.m. candle, and then 10 a.m. and 10 a.m. we have multiple more data releases coming out. So this could be dicey for tomorrow. Today looks pretty clear. We're getting these huge movements, not at times that I would expect, really. FOMC for sure, but for a movement like this in the overnight session, right? Like Asia, London, just ripping this bad boy higher. Really interesting. So again, we can take a look at ES. Which I do have marked up for the day. We can start there, and then we can pop over to NQ. Actually MNQ, because I like to get a little bit more, have a little bit more flexibility with micros on NQ. Big wick down here, and then recovery, gap up. No, not really a gap up, but nice big push to the upside to put a fresh high in here on ES. Really bullish move. I've heard it over and over and over again on socials and everybody's comments. Tops in, get ready, start selling, sell all your stocks, protect your your investment brokerage and your Roth IRA. I don't know, man. It certainly could happen. We could definitely see a correction. We could see some selling pressure. We can get through this news, this tariff deadline, and we can really start to see some movement back down to the downside. But so far, to me, just looking at this objectively, bulls have not taken their foot off the gas. There's been very, very, very limited downside movement and potential to make money doing, trading that way. It's really just been all gas on this thing. If we take a look at so we can look at this. Look at this in the overnight session. Here, let's look at the 1 minute from yesterday's FOMC all the way into the overnight session. So here was our entire day yesterday, right? Here's pre-market. We had some news. Here's the whole day. Choppy, choppy, choppy. This was overnight high. This was overnight low. Like, we literally just swept overnight high, overnight low, stayed within the range all day. We started to pop up on that 2 p.m. news. Oh, actually, not a whole lot. Started to pop up when he started talking, Jerome Powell. Harsh sell-off, really aggressive sell-off, down to an area that I had marked. Super aggressive sell-off. And then big recovery, gap up at the open. Yeah, gap up at the open here on ES. And then just continual drive higher all the way into today, where now we're pulling back down towards VWAP in pre-market. If we take a look at MNQ rather, same thing, very choppy. Started to pop at that 2:30 p.m. time frame when Jay Powell was talking, the FOMC press conference. Sell-off, not as aggressive to the downside, and then super insane recovery right into the close, blasting higher. This is 4 p.m. Eastern, right? So, session close, and then even more aggressive to the upside here in NQ. So really interesting structure. Big movements. Really nothing for NYSE session until news, and then tons of movement, outside of NYSE session. So kind of interesting for New York traders that are just like waiting for something to happen, and we pull up and it's just straight chop garbage for NYSE. So I would say, like, I haven't had the funnest time trading live with you guys here for NYSE. It's just been a whole lot of nothing, man. Literally, we just looked at it, just reviewed it. There's like nothing going on. Really no opportunity. There's not a lot of movement. Just a whole lot of nothing. But you keep showing up every damn day, and wait for your trade setups to come. So pre-market, we can look for some fun scalpy style trades. Just going to get my chart markup done here on MNQ because this is a raw chart. Overnight high, overnight low, coming off the daily candle, because technically this is still in the overnight session, what I would consider from session changeover all the way up until 9:30 a.m. Eastern. That's how I am designating my overnight highs and lows. Then I'm going to go for a prior day high and prior day low. Throw that one up here. Have some overlap right here, but we're going to mark it anyway. Prior day high, prior day low. Could go for a weekly, but yeah, I don't think we need to do that. Actually, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Let's get the full thing rolling. Prior week low and prior week high. That's really the three sets of objective levels. I bounce around different levels that I'm using. That's really the three sets of objective levels that I'm using here on the US indices. I'm going to take a look and find out if we have any zones we want to mark out. Let's take a look. This is pretty much from scratch my chart markup, guys. You're getting on this one. Very simple, like stupidly simple. I have 3 tools on my chart. If you guys are new, again, we got some early morning stuff. VWAP, visible range volume profile, traditional volume down at the bottom. Pretty much a raw candlestick chart. These I'm paying a little bit of attention to. VWAP I think is a key player for me. Not that I use it to trade directly off of, but I do like to know where VWAP is. You watch the same tool every day, day in and day out. It can be helpful. And then bookmap over on the side. 3 sets of objective levels, right? You saw how I marked that. You can mark that exactly the same on your chart as you can the way that I'm doing right here, right? Overnight high and low, prior day high and low, prior week high and low. Very, very simple. As outside of that, if we have key levels, areas of high volume, key levels of market structure price action that coincide with some potential areas of interest looking at visible range volume profile, I like to mark those with a range, right? So this isn't really a high volume area. I think if we came back down here, I would really be looking for a move down to prior week highs. So I'm not even going to mark this. I've got nothing. I've really got nothing over here that I want to mark, right? Prior week high is the key area of interest on my chart that I really want to be paying attention to. If we sold off past prior day low and overnight low over here, prior day high and overnight low, if we got past that level, that's the next area that I'm looking, right? In between, you could say we got some highs up here, put in the pre-market session. This was into NYSE session. So you could say the 23,600s. Let me get my price call outs correct. Could be an area of interest. Yeah, we can mark that. We can mark that. Throw a zone off of those highs there. But outside of that, this is pretty well marked. In between, if we came way down lower, I'd say this would be an area of interest. Again, this is just like general chart markup, right? I'm trading the 1 minute chart. We're gonna be scalping up here. Like this is zoomed out 15 minute, just for example of kind of how I would mark a chart, start to finish. Paying attention to areas of interest on it. That's kind of what we're doing here. So now looking for some trades. Drop it down to the 1 minute. Got about 30 minutes to the open here on NQ. I could run something into the open. I wouldn't mind it. Run a little something into the open. Looks like we want to push to the upside here. I'd fade this. I think we're gonna pull back at the open. If we get a pop up here into the, let's say, 850s is way up. 825s, we got a little bit of liquidity. I'd fade this. I think we pull back on NQ. Loves to pull these wiki moves, fake everybody out. I think we come down and sweep this low for the open. I don't think we just blast off from here without getting really wiki and coming back down to VWAP. We could push up first, but we got a little bit of liquidity showing on bookmap up at the 810s right above this area. I'm gonna look for a short. That's kind of what I was eyeballing as I was hopping on here, right? I think we pull back on this. I don't think we blast off through the high and just continue for the day. Not with NFP tomorrow and just the way this structure is formed, so dang bullish. Pull back, got a little bit below VWAP, push to the upside. I'd like a sweep almost up here, and if I ran this, yeah, I would take it from up here with a stop loss above this high. Nice wide stop. Looking for a pullback down. Something that I would just pull the set it and forget it type of deal. Was potentially looking for some scalpy type movement, but I think this is going to be more of a find the trade and let it run into the open. So let's see. If I took it off the 15s with a 200 tick stop loss, yeah, that would give me what I need. I'm going to go for that. I think we might sweep these highs over here, or at least come up into this area. So I'm going to go with a limit up here, guys. I'm going to go with a limit, show you how I run these. Just looking on bookmap, the 12s, 23,008, 10 has some liquidity. So like right here. But I think if I'm going to run this into the open, just in case we don't fill right now, I would want it out here. Really nice wide stop loss for a movement in. So for now, I'm going to throw one right here. Limit sell 5. Again, you run the risk of, somebody starts conversation, war, whatever it is with limit orders, and it just rips your face off to the upside. But I have my risk parameters set where when this fills, when this fills, here's what this position is going to look like. I probably don't need to be that wide with it. But the thought process is we come down here and sweep this. So let me just take a look at what the actual risk parameter is on this without coming off. Hang on one second, chat. Set some pre-market trades up. Yeah, so right now I have this set at $500 worth of risk. I don't know that I need all of that, so I might have to adjust. And I've got a $600, is it 60 points? 600 divided by 2.5, $2.50. Yeah, 60 ticks. Yeah, so what I was running with these was allowing myself to use the full, essentially the full daily loss limit. I really wouldn't want to take on more than $500 worth of loss in one of these 50K accounts. You got 2,000 to work with. If I took 4 back-to-back losses, the account's killed. If you go over the $600 mark, you start pushing that profit target out, because with a 20% consistency rule, and again, this is with Top Win Futures, talking about the Top Win Futures 50K instant funded account, kind of how I would structure it. If you start pushing the profit target out, going past $600 per day, you have to, make more money in the account before you take a payout. So I'm probably going to be okay doing that in these accounts nowadays. I think I'm kind of making an overarching risk management decision here. If you start putting up $1,000 a day, that's going to be $5,000 to meet a 20% consistency rule before you can take a payout. That's not bad, but I'm going to leave this risk setting as is, right? So again, if and when this fills, which running it into the open, I think we wick up here, come and trade that 825s potentially. I'll have a stop loss at 200 ticks, 50 points, and a take profit at 240 ticks, 60 points. That would either generate a $500 loss, or right around there, or a $600 win, keeping me within my risk controls. Now, it's kind of a low risk to reward, but I like it for the set it and forget it trade. It is positive. I don't even have to win 50% in order to make money. And I'm ending up with a pretty solid win rate pulling these into the open style trades. The consistency rule is a little bit tough to work with. It's important to note, like, if I didn't have that consistency rule, I'd probably run that stop loss where it is and then take profit a little bit wider. But, you got to decide, do I want to have to put up $5,000, $8,000 in the account because I put up, larger days, $1,000, $1,200 days, or you'd want to give yourself the flexibility to take a payout whenever you get up there. You can still build more of a buffer without pushing the consistency rule out. That just comes down to how much money you make per day. So, it is a thought process. Now, you can size down and run a tighter stop loss and that type of stuff. But I'm going to leave that one as is for now. That's kind of my game plan. Take a look at what ES is doing. Yeah, ES pulled back a little bit further. No, similar. Very similar structure. Very similar structure. Came, tested this high over here. Not as bullish overall, right, with this big push down. But I'm interested to see what happens off the open. 9 a.m. time frame right now. We will take a look and watch this together. But what's going on? It's almost like why ever short ES and NQ. Yeah, making all-time highs. Yep, the last 5 minutes of the day was insane. Oh, yeah. Dave for Dean, what's up? Andrew, what's going on? Paul, what's up? So you can't set your take profit and your stop loss until your limit order is filled, right? No. Incorrect. You can. So, let me just see something here, guys. Hang on one second. Here's what I'm going to show you guys. While you can't set a custom bracket the way that you could on TradingView. You can set a risk parameter. So over here, click on the settings side, right under risk settings. The global risk settings, what they call it, allows you to put a automatically apply risk profit bracket to new positions. Essentially a stop loss right here and a take profit right here to all positions that are placed, right? It requires you to do the math, and if you wanted to adjust it, to come over here to do the math. The deal is, if I'm short 5, let me reset VWAP here. If I'm going to get short limit 5 at 23,825, where is that going to put my stop loss and take profit? Well, I know micros are 50 cents per tick. That would mean I'm at 5 micros. I'm at $2.50 per tick. $500 is going to be 200 ticks. That's where my stop loss is going to be, way up there. My take profit is going to be down here into this level right here, right there. So that's going to automatically be populated once, if and when this fills, right? Maybe we just sell off, that doesn't fill at all. It would be nice to be able to do that over here the way we can in TradingView, which is pretty sweet. We can't do that yet. They've asked for it. This way you don't have to try to adjust and do math. And if you think about how it works on TradingView, if you've ever seen it, you've logged in through a broker or live account, something like that. You can not only set it custom, you can drag it out and actually see where it's going to be on the chart. It shows you. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. But yeah, short is a risky play for sure. On the comment that Dre made, yeah, longs for sure. If we sell off, for example, really aggressively, I'm probably gonna look to take that off and actually fade that, just go long. I'd prefer long. Again, let's hop out to the daily. Look at this trend. Hey, first off, if you trade U.S. indices, it's worth it to look at years of data. This is extremely zoomed out. What does this chart look like to you guys? Does it look bearish, where we're coming from the top left-hand screen, the side of the screen, going all the way down to the right? No, it's the exact opposite. It's nice and bullish, right? You zoom in a little bit more and you go, let me look at the last, maybe couple months of data, right? Last 2-3 months of data. What does that look like to you? Is that like a bearish trend? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you're like, yeah, Zach, that's going down. That's like, trending to the downside. It's all subjective, right? But this is strong. This is showing a lot of strength, right? You drop down to like the 15-minute, you zoom out, you're like, this is pretty strong, right? So if you're going to create and utilize any kind of a bias, if you're going to look at trends, right? For the most part, looking at the U.S. indices right now, I think it can be worth noting you might want to be cautious hitting the sell button. I'm saying that as I'm entering a limit short above price on NQ, because that's the way that I trade, mean reversion style on the U.S. indices back towards areas of high volume after sweeping key levels or any levels of structure, depending on what I think is a good move. But I would say, like, if you were like, hey Zach, you have to take one directional button off of your platform for the rest of your life. You can only ever take longs or shorts, and you're going to trade NQ. What button do you think I'm taking off, right? It's pretty simple if you think about it that way. I think for beginner traders, I hear a lot of experienced guys talk about that. They're like, they make the comment that they recommend guys go one direction, literally one direction. And on the U.S. indices, you could be a long only trader. It's not that hard to do. But again, depends on how you trade, right? For me, very mean reverting back down into the key areas of interest for me. VWAP, levels of structure, volume based on visible range volume profile. Taking a look at bookmap on this one. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking at short on MNQ. Yeah, we didn't even come and crack this high. I was gonna say I got another one of these accounts. I was gonna enter maybe even tighter, maybe even pull a tighter trade on this one, where we just kind of sweep up here, come and check out the 810s and come back down into VWAP. But I'm going to leave this one as it is for now. Let's see what we got. Appreciate you hopping on, chat. Y'all are awesome. Got a nice early morning stream rolling here. Not too early, pre-market. Reading a couple messages, see what we got rolling on. Let's see what we got, guys. This will be fun. I get to watch this one run into the open with you guys. Take a look and see what kind of volatility we have coming in. But while we're hanging out, hey Zach, why is visible range volume profile over a fixed range? What's up, JP? Good questions, guys. You know, we're hanging out, so like any questions you have, feel free to ask. So, visible range volume profile is just kind of dynamic. On the 1 minute chart, when I'm really zoomed in, it's not super duper helpful. I like to zoom out a little bit on the 1 minute and just kind of get a feel for where the really near term price action market structure is throwing out volume. I also like it on the 15, like really zoomed out. The fixed range works fine if you had a set range that you wanted to utilize the volume profile of. If you go back through for a long period of time in my content, I was using a fixed range volume profile, and I would have done prior day fixed range volume profile, right? And you get value area high, value area low, and volume point of control, prior day volume point of control. You would do that by coming over here. You can even see it starred because I like that one. You would do that, and like the couple of volume profiles that I would use, that's pretty damn close, would be the entire prior day all the way into the end of the session, right? You can even see it's kind of customized. And then from there, I would mark manually these three levels right here. Value area high, volume point of control, value area low. The other area, whoa, don't want to do that. The other area that I would mark, the other fixed range volume profile that I would use would be the prior week, right? You can go from the entire prior week and get prior week value area high, volume point of control, value area low. I think that's helpful. Those levels can be really helpful. A lot of guys and girls will use the current session and also use that value area high, volume point of control, value area low. So it's just preference, man. I think there's nothing wrong with using fixed range volume profile. I obviously like volume tools. If I had to put one more thing on my chart, that's what I'm putting on. Fixed range volume profile from prior day. You know, getting the whole extended trading hours session. But again, I kind of just look at this, you know, pretty discretionary, with a discretionary mindset. If I zoom out on ES, you can see I marked up NQ earlier. If I zoom out on ES, you can see where my zones are coming off of, right? A lot of this visible range volume profile, right? High volume areas, because they're key levels that price returns to, right? You know, this was here before yesterday. If I get rid of that high volume node, right there, zone coming off of also key levels of market structure, right? Pretty basic. Tops where we've reacted, tops and bottoms where we've had nice reactions from. It also lines up really well where price action often returns to. So visible range volume profile, again, but just a preference. I hope that helps answer the question, JP. But yeah, I think, again, fixed range, really solid. I don't know, like I think on TradingView they have something called session volume profile HD, and that works really well for like the current range that's printing. So like if you wanted to run, you know, watch this though. If I came over here, you get the exact same thing. Just so we're on the same page. Visible range volume profile displays the visible range. Fixed range gives you exactly the name, fixed range, from, you know, whatever time you anchor it to start to finish. So for example, if I wanted to view how this session was forming, right? I can get volume point of control, value area high, value area low, the same way that you can get it on the fixed range volume profile. But again, this is kind of a little bit more structured, and a lot of traders do like to get the current range that's forming. Not the current range, the current day's profile that's forming fixed from a fixed range volume profile. And again, I think there is something that automatically populates through TradingView. I just don't know what it is. That essentially sits here from the left-hand side. You can change that around. You can move that to the right-hand side if you wanted to. But yeah, that's kind of the thought process. So. How recently do you watch back your data and adjust that? I mean, you change something up. Polly, it's a good question. I try to go in large sample sizes, right? I think if you guys watch me trade live or you go back and you check my stuff out on YouTube, you'll see progression, right? You'll see changes, you'll see adjustments. For the most part, it's pretty slow, right? I do the same thing for a long period of time because the market's very random on the short term, right? If you have the basic understanding of how the market functions and moves, you recognize that patterns repeat themselves, we can create an edge and make money. But it's over a series of trades. It's not on an individual trade. So, large sample sizes of data. How large exactly? Depends. For me, if I notice that, for example, over a multiple week, I try to look at things in months and quarters, but over multiple weeks, maybe 20, 30 trades sample size, that I'm noticing a really clear trend. And a lot of traders will say that's not enough. I think you got to have stuff working within 20 to 30 trades. If it's not working in 20 to 30 trades, the way that I trade, not super high frequency, we got to make some adjustments. But if roughly I'd say a number of weeks, right? A number of weeks, definitely a number of days of trading, and 20 to 30 trade at a bare minimum, I'm noticing a really clear pattern. I would easily look at making some adjustments there, for sure. If I change something, I try to stay true to it for a while, for at least that sample size, I'd say, at a bare minimum of forward testing. And again, a really clear pattern. If something is not so clear, maybe larger sample size is going to be warranted. But for example, right, something that I noticed when I came over to the straight to funded accounts, straight to funded pro with top one, as soon as those launched, I was really aggressively trailing stop losses past break even, trying to work with a intraday trailing drawdown, right? And I noticed over a number of weeks that I was ending up with a very high win rate, very low risk to reward, because I was taking small stop outs and I was taking small stop outs for profit and then taking full stop outs when the market moved against me. I adjusted that, and how many trades was that? Maybe I'm looking at 3 to 4 weeks of data, because the pattern's very, very clear, something along those lines. And I think you change things slowly, right? Not throwing everything out the window. Once you have something that works, that you've back tested and forward tested, and you traded live, you're always going to have to adjust. I think the market's very dynamic. You're going to find things that are going to work better for yourself and not work so good. But it's a way larger sample size than most traders give it. I will say that. Most traders, something happens 2 days, 3 days in a row, you're changing it, right? And that's not even close to enough. That's not nearly close to enough, right? You got to go through some gnarly losing streaks sometimes, keeping things consistent to ever be able to apply enough consistency in the market. So that's the way that I would think about it. But it's different for everybody. Depends on your frequency of trades, right? If you're taking a couple trades a week versus 20 trades a day, you might have to look at things a little bit differently, because it's going to take you forever to generate a decent sample size, one versus the other. So, good questions though today, guys. Been playing around with fixed range volume profile using the daily chart, extensions and consolidations. Been very helpful, but cool to see how flexible you can use the tool. Yeah, a lot of tools are kind of overlapping, right? Certainly with different volume profiles. Fixed range volume profile versus visible range volume profile versus session range and session volume profile HD on TradingView. Like, a lot of them overlap, and it just depends. Depends on how you want to use it, how you want to display it, the levels you want to get. For example, if you guys want my exact settings off of this, I don't care about sharing. This one's changed right here. This moves the volume profile over to the right-hand side more. This way we're not overlapping price. Whoa, I punched my mic. We're not overlapping price so much. Colors, just a little bit different on colors. Value area, and then just up and down volume. Point of control color, so you could have the exact settings that I have. And the only other one that's changed is the row size. I think this stops changing after a certain point. I don't know if it's like 200 or 500, but it just makes it more granular. You could put like 1,000 in here, and it like kind of just all shows as one color and gets more spiky, right? Like. Kind of gets like you can see even more granular. I think it comes standard with like something like big blocks on it, like that, which I really don't enjoy. I just think it can be, you know, more granular than that. So simple settings, doesn't, not the inputs, not really inputs, but not really changing like the considerations, the percents or anything like that. Mostly just color. So that's how you get visible range volume profile. And again, the name of it. Volume profile visible range. I think it's actually called visible range volume profile on TradingView, but for some reason it's different on Project X. So yeah, thanks for the detailed answer. Yeah, thanks for the good question. You know, it's only I can only react to myself for so long, guys. Good morning, Jeremy. What's up? What's going on? Yeah, so tell you guys, if we sell here, I'm gonna run something interesting. Right, we're getting ready for the open here. I'm going to come over to ES, and I'm not going to look at this. I'm not even going to look at this. But if we sold off, conversely, I'm going to look to set a limit buy down here as well. Kind of show you what my my pre-market NQ. Again, this is different. This is like an into the open trade, right? So I want to be clear about what's working really well for me for NQ pre-market. My alarm goes off 5 a.m. every day. I'm not waking up in the middle of the night just to take a pre-market trade, right? So here's my alarm going off. Here's the vertical line right here, right? And I wake up and I pretty much, you know, hop out of bed, do what I do for 5 minutes, and I'm looking at the chart. So let's say I'm looking at the chart like right here. I want to see us at or near a recent high with the potential to sweep it and to come back down to VWAP in an area of high volume. And I also don't really want to fade an insane trend. So today, when I looked at the chart, I didn't set a limit order up here because on any other day, limit order maybe right here or right here with a short, with a sell back down towards VWAP is my play. I didn't do that for what reason? Insane bullish movement, really insane bullish movement. And I felt we might just do this right into the open. You know, and when that's happening, I think there's slightly less chance that we just revert around that 5 a.m. time frame, you know, before 9:30, which we did today. We kept all the way down to VWAP. But I felt like today we might do this. Just nice, slowly grind to the upside. And that wouldn't put me in a good position to be short, right? So I did not take the short. But that's the same play that I'm taking pretty much every damn day. You know, some very, very similar movements. Same thing long, right? Looking long on a sweep above. Caught it here. Where was my short? I ended up getting short somewhere in here. Was showing this one from earlier. Yeah, 5 a.m. went off. I had a short somewhere in here. One got stopped. Yeah, I actually had two that were really close. You see this was a 200 tick stop loss. One of these was a little bit low, and then one of them was a little high. So I took a full profit on one account and a full stop on another account. But yeah, simple pre-market stuff. So today, this is not exactly the same thing. This is really not exactly the same thing. This is now a into the open style trade. But I'm going to run one. I don't mind running one on these accounts. I think I'm going to go with a limit buy way down here, which I actually wouldn't mind filling first. Yeah, I'm going to throw a limit buy down here as well. Exactly where we're going to put that bad boy? Probably down into this area. Probably down into this area. I think if we sold off really aggressively, came down below this low, wicked lower here, we're likely going to revert. We're going to pop back up here, back towards VWAP. Simple mean reversion style trade. My take profit would be right in here from this actual entry. Here's what the trade would look like. Take profit would be right in there. It's going to automatically populate. Stop loss is going to be all the way down here, below prior day low, overnight low. I'd actually like that to be a little bit lower because I think we could drop directly down here and trade right outside of that. But that's not the trade idea. It's not to catch it all the way down here. So that's what I'm gonna run into the open on NQ. But getting ready for the open on ES. So let's come over to ES. While we're hanging out, as well, guys. While we're hanging out, this is Project X with Top 1 Futures. If you want to check out Top 1 Futures, the link is in the chat. I will throw it in there again right now. 55% off the instant funded accounts. The end of day trailing drawdown. If you hop onto the site, not only can you get 55% off, you can get an additional discount by signing up for their email newsletter. Not newsletter, email newsletter. Code RDF gets you a better deal than the anything that they send out, right? Because it's 50% off. Code RDF is going to get you 55% off. There's also an email newsletter that gets you an additional discount. It puts the 50K account, the account that I was just showing you, instant funded, 20% consistency rule, no challenge, no activation fee, no crazy ESS score like it is on the other accounts. No intraday trailing drawdown, no minimum profitable days to pay out, just a minimum trading days. It puts it at like $200. I think it's $209. Wild deal. In my humble, biased opinion, because of course I stand to make money. I can't be unbiased if I stand to make money. But if you guys want to check that out, link is right there. As we get set up and ready to run on ES, coming over to the other accounts that I'm talking about, the 50K, the 150K straight to funded 7-pack that I'm running. There we go. We are ready to roll. So we got NQ set up with some limit orders. We'll see if one of those bad boy fills. The only thing that you have to remember if you pull a move like that, just to talk about that, if you pull a limit order above and below, unless you want both of them to fill, you got to go back and cancel one of them if one of them fills, right? It's not an OCO. It's not a one cancels the other. Those are two separate limit orders. And essentially, they're far enough away where one couldn't fill and then the other one fills at the same time. But what would happen is, let's say I got short, right? That first one fills and I took a win. It would come down potentially, fill that other one. Now it would be filled buy, with 5 micro buy. So you got to go back and cancel that, after the first one fills, preferably. Unless you want to trade both ways, right? Unless you want both of them to fill. So 9:23, we got about 6 minutes to the open here, guys. Again, we took a look at news just to display this one more time, which is kind of what I do coming into the open. Take you right through it. 8:30 a.m. we got through not much by way of news for the rest of the day. Friday, we got a little bit of news tomorrow. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. We got NFP Friday, so it's going to be interesting to deal with. On that note, guys, I will be right back as we're waiting for this market to get ready to open up. Chat, how we doing? Still waiting for the chat. How we doing? Still waiting for the chair to show his true colors. He needs a face. All right, I'm making a note, Brian. Chair's getting a face for tomorrow. Brian, nice dude. I see from Discord you're up today. Up 1,000. Beautiful, dude. Beautiful. Shorted YM last night. 30-minute supply. Made back 1,500. I lost. That's awesome, dude. It's awesome. Trading copper. Guys are all over the map. You're crazy. Y'all are crazy. Checking out some messages. Like I talked about, I think it'd be helpful to be in different communities. I think it's a balance. We were talking about this yesterday. We had one of the guys from my community live streaming and talking about just a bunch of trolls and haters and people getting to him while he was live streaming. I think that sucks. So for the most part, be cautious of how much information you have coming in, right? I think hanging out on a live stream like this might be helpful, but I'm biased to say that, right? But I used to hang out on other people's live streams in the background, kind of on the side, because I would ask questions, I would listen to what they're doing, just get an idea, not trying to copy what they're doing, not be influenced. And I think you've seen the way that I trade. Like, I'll have guests on, I'll be going long when they're going short. You guys will all be saying short, I'll get long. Like, I trade by system. If you struggle to do that and you find yourself like easily influenced by other people, then maybe you got to be cautious. But I personally like being in a lot of communities, or at least I shouldn't say a lot, a couple valuable ones, because I'm really not in a lot, just the guys that I work with. But I take a look at what their maybe their ideas are for the day, their levels. But outside of that, just to watch what's going on. What I really like to see is if anything oddball that I don't have my eyes on, that I don't know about, is getting called out, right? Like, they might be like, yo, dude, like crazy earnings or something insane happening with NVIDIA, NQ's off the charts going nuts, be cautious, and like, I have no idea that that's going on. Or like a platform issue, for example. All of a sudden, you're in your community and everybody starts complaining, hey, Project X lagging. That might prevent you from getting into a trade while there's a technical issue going on with the platform that you use. So stuff like that I think can be helpful. So I kind of glance over, but obviously I'm hanging on. I'm hanging on with you guys. So, but I think that could be important to look at and think about. How much information are you taking in? How much, is that impacting you in your trading? And whatever you do, don't let anybody else influence you or sway you. Right? Your trading system is your trading system. The way that you trade is the way that you trade. That's it. So, let's take a look at what we got with NASDAQ. Looks like we're going to get ready to get tagged into a long here, guys. Going to get ready to get tagged into a long on MNQ. But, again, it's a set it and forget it. So, if I get tagged in there, I'll come back over to... here's 9:30 a.m. Let's see. Market is open. I don't like to say good luck because I don't think we should be relying on luck, but I hope you guys all have a great trading session today. Hope you structure your risk well, and you find a way to turn a profit in these markets. Whatever you do, structure and accept your risk, right? I think that's an important thing to think about coming into the open. Find a way to structure your risk, find what you're comfortable taking a win or a loss on, and set your limits, right? Set your upside and downside limits. So we got a gnarly sell-off into the open, man. I'm definitely tagged in on NQ. Can pull that up in a minute. We'll see if we come right through prior day high or all the way back to overnight low, which is all the way down here. Aggressive selling pressure here. Aggressive selling pressure. Got some serious volatility coming into the open here. Completely counter to the move that we had here. Completely counter to the move. Looking at MNQ. That looks like it's going to be a stop. That looks like it's going to be a stop. I got tagged in way earlier. Insane selling pressure. No quick wick down lower. Just heavy selling pressure. That's a face ripper to the downside there. Same on ES, man. Really aggressive. Ooh, really aggressive selling pressure on ES. So, going to start framing some trade ideas here on ES to see what we can get rolling. Just do a check on the stream. Looking solid, looking solid. Yeah, so starting to look at Bookmap on this, man. Heavy selling pressure into the open. This looks like we might continue, man. I'm interested to see if we wick back up here. But that's aggressive, man. That's aggressive. Very aggressive. Way more aggressive even on NQ. Might set up for a long play here on ES though. Looking lower on this right here. Got really close to prior day high, prior week high. Again, I do like to wait the first 15 minutes of the open, first 10 to 15 minutes of the open for ES, for the standard way that I'm trading on ES. That is gnarly though. Let's see what Bookmap is looking like. That's what I'm eyeballing here over on the right hand side. Looking pretty heavy, man. We still have liquidity down below here quite a bit. 534 sitting at 21. We don't find some buyers here and wick back up. This could get even uglier. Got some movement here today, boys and girls. Taking a look, yeah, just taking a look at Bookmap. Sorry, getting quiet there for a minute. Taking a look at Bookmap at how this thing is reacting down here. Pretty damn interesting, man. I'm interested to see if we just see gnarly selling pressure out of this market today. Let's see. Cooked, definitely cooked on that first NQ long play. Got tagged in, and that thing is way down, way aggressively down. But that's part of trading right into the open. So looking at this on Bookmap for ES as we're coming into 9:35 a.m. Like I said, same plays here for ES. Looking at after that 9:10 to 9:15 time frame. Looking for some potential trades. Um, this one is aggressively selling off, man. Aggressively selling off. Let's take a look here. CVD really started to jump, but we got some orders down here that are looking kind of dicey. All right, I was actually just getting set up on my live account as well, making sure I had that set up over on the side. Let's see. Are we going to sell off here really aggressively? Come through prior day low, prior week high, maybe find some buyers off of the 30s, or come all the way down even lower into the 26s, 25s? Do we find some buyers here for a quick wick back up? So far, sellers look like they're not taking their foot off the gas just yet. This is pretty interesting. Super bullish movement for close of FOMC, right? Of that press conference. Really bullish through the overnight session, pushing to the upside, putting the highs in, chopping back down around VWAP, and then gnarly selling pressure at the open. This is interesting. I don't know that we completely correct today. We could. This could just be the complete fake out in the overnight session. We got a lot of volatility and volume coming into this, but I'm tempted to say this could be like the take everybody out that was long at all here, wick down even farther, and then start to continue back up to the upside. So, trying to frame out some trade ideas here. I could see this long. We're coming up on the time frame that we get past kind of this craziness at the open that we're seeing right now for ES. I like this long. I really do like this long. I think if we come down here around prior day, prior week high into the 30s, I'm going to take this long here on ES. That's going to be my game plan. We got liquidity all the way down to the 22s. We got a heavy stack of liquidity. We got liquidity at the 30s, looking at book map. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about liquidity. But we got a growing CVD right here. I don't know. This looks like buyers at least want to try to prop it up. We start at the bottom. We come through this. We might come really aggressively down here. Yeah, it looks like we're going to try it right now. I'm looking long. I'm looking long off of this level right here, right around the 30s. I'd like a sweep down below that would get me a stop loss, way down here, where if I'm wrong getting long on this, trying to flow with the trend of the market and at least my nice mean reversion trade back up, I think we're selling off aggressively. We start coming through this level all the way past like the 25s. I think we're coming way down here. I think we're coming way down here. All the way back to the 6400s. Possible. So there's prior day high. Now we're sitting at prior day high. This was interesting. This first dip got bought right back up, then right back down through this low. So let's take a look, guys. Again, I'm looking aggressively long on this, but don't want to take it too early. Yeah, I'm looking through the 30s for a potential very aggressive long here on ES. Again, if we don't find buyers up here, I think we're coming way lower. So I don't mind taking it from up here, running a stop, and just seeing if we don't actually start to turn to the upside here. Let's see if we can take this level. Again, there's not much by way on the book until we get down to the 22s. So here we go into the 30s right now. It is pretty early into the open, but we're past that 10 a.m. marker where I'm okay looking for a trade. Yeah, I think we come back up on this, guys. I'll show you why after, but cumulative volume delta on a sell-off like that really did not dip lower. We have a positive cumulative volume delta from the time that I anchored this, which was pretty early this morning, but we bounced right back up. It's kind of been interesting to watch volume delta over the last long time that I've been watching it, or a decent amount of time so far. And if this, let's see if it helps me or hurts me today, but this today would be in line for support and a buy. We still didn't grab the 150 orders that are right below price, right at the 30s, so I'm waiting for one more sweep lower. Below that, came on the book, looking at Bookmap at 931, 564 are showing. Anybody can see this on a DOM, are showing at 64.22. That could be an interesting area. We could dip down there really aggressively to go and grab that. It hasn't been sitting on the book all morning. It's way past one of these levels, so it's not something that I'm going to wait for, but I wish that wasn't there for my long that I'm looking at off this level. I need this to get taken, though, otherwise I'm no trade on at least on these accounts. Let's see what ES has got for us. Watching this closely because we could get a fast movement out of this. Here we go, coming through this level here. Now, do we find buyers down here? Or do we go right to the 20s?
Order filled.
I'm trying this from up here, guys. I'm trying this from up here. I'm gonna run this one from. Let me get rid of that. I'm gonna run this one from right off of this level. We tested it multiple times. We just took out the liquidity down at the 30s. We got some buyers stepping in, trying it. If we come through this really aggressively, through the 20s, maybe we find buyers down here. But if we just blast lower through these levels, I think we are really selling off. And I think I'm just dead wrong on this movement. So let's see what we get. I am long from. Oh, get me here. Long from 64.31, 64.32. Looking at some overlapping levels here. 1 ES. Nothing crazy. Going to see if we can't get a pop back up on this one back towards VWAP. Nice. We do have some buyers stepping in. We did have some buyers stepping in here that failed really aggressively. We could absolutely see that as well. Aggressive, right? Aggressive buy, but this is the same style setup that I'm looking to trade every damn day of the week. Ooh. 9:45 time frame. Oh, that's gnarly volatility coming back in. CVD dropped right off. That looks like we're coming lower. Could just be the market doing whatever it's doing, but that's some serious volatility across U.S. indices. NQ drops pretty aggressively on whatever that is right there. So this could be the fast stop out, guys. This could be the fast stop out. That started to look really nice. But I'm guessing that's a comment out of somebody. I'm guessing that's somebody said tariff. Yep. 9:45 a.m. Again, we had a little bit of. I see someone said data out shortly. 9:45 a.m. Media low impact, right? Low impact stuff. Not something that I'm really focused on. But this looks like we do want to come lower. Had buyers trying it right there. Looked really good. Growing volume. I think we're either finding buyers here quickly and coming back up through those 40s, which is what I would like to see, or this is going to be a really aggressive stop. That's what we got on the book for me today, but that was volatile right there. This could get wicky. This could get nice and wicky. All right, chat. Let's see what we get out of this one. Just watching Bookmap on this, seeing if we can't get something rolling. Starting to find buyers here. Like I said, I want to see it back through the 40s. Back up to VWAP on this one. Looking for this to just be the fake out move. There we go. Starting to get some buyers stepping in here. Let's see. Target wise on this, I think this could be decent. I think we could really pull all the way back up here. I honestly think we do. If you guys watch me trade, you know that I really don't run a fixed take profit. My close is going to be somewhat discretionary. I like to drag stop losses into profit on these accounts, but like I was talking about earlier, been attempting to not do that as much. Like, I will let this come all the way back down to be a loser. That's not enough. Reason being, I end up with a nice high win rate, but if I just grab, 150, 250 bucks on every trade and I'm taking $500 plus stop outs, not really going to help me in the long run. I need a really, really, really high win rate to support that. So let's see if we can't go and crack through the 40s. I think if we do, we get up here pretty quickly, and I might be tempted to hang on to this bad boy. VWAP or like below VWAP, like 44 is a pretty safe level to look for profit on this. But this is looking pretty nice. Yeah, I'm going to let this thing do its thing. I'll let this move for a little bit. See if we can't get above that recent high on the 1 minute and move towards VWAP. Otherwise, come back down and take me out, ES. Part of the game. If you're going to let your winners run without moving stop losses, you got to be ready to let that come back down on you. That's part of catching a larger winner. Potentially catching a larger winner. Let's see what you guys said. Morning. Data show. Yeah, we're talking about that. My bookmap connection's coming on and off. That's not good. Bookmap's lagging. Took a W off. Breaking retest of my value area high that I mentioned. Dump by the end of the month. Buy first of the month. Maybe. Anyone remember these days? Probably February. Or for 2-3 weeks, market used to drop just like this. NQ, 150 to 200 points down right at the open. Those days were my friend. Yo, bookmap connection is lost for me. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. What's TP, Zach? Yeah, I'm debating. Like I said, this is a safe spot, guys. I'm tempted to take it off here, but this is really a nice bullish movement. I think I'm gonna hold for right around VWAP. A little bit more of a test of VWAP. This could turn into a really big bullish day. But I'd like to see really just a little bit of a crack above VWAP, and I'm going to look to join ask out. Watching bookmap. Oh, we're starting to flatten off on some volume here. Starting to flatten off on volume. Past a 1-to-1. This isn't bad, but I think I'd like to get a little bit more out of this bad boy right towards VWAP. Getting ready to take it, guys.
Order filled.
There we go. I'm out of that one for 684. This is really solid, and holding through VWAP, the next target would be like way up here. This would be the next target, right? And I think we're a good chance of getting there, but it's a game of probabilities, right? For me, I'm happy with that. That's cool on a single trade. W, can't complain. Waited patiently. I did take the L on that pre-market limit, that pre-market limit on MNQ, but on one of the accounts, right, for $500. Here we are, copy trading a 7-pack, 684. I think we continue. This is strong, volume behind it. CVD looks good, but right, VWAP, volume weighted average price, the low end of this, just coming up to this area. We would have to come through this low volume area, come all the way up here, right? So, what's the highest probability if I got long here? Well, highest probability is that we get, 5 points in my direction. A little bit less probability, right? The farther away we get, right? Right above this high, maybe through the 40s, right? And then maybe VWAP. And then maybe that we blast through VWAP and continue the upside, right? But then we know that doesn't always happen. This is a line in the sand. We don't have a ton of liquidity. Oh, we do have some. Past it. So we could come all the way up here. But, again, I'm happy with that. 684 times 7. Can't complain. This is a nice one to hold, right? But I'm okay grabbing that rather than making all my trades a 2-to-1, right, or a 2.5-to-1, and generating a much lower win rate. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that, but my reason was to hold, not take 200 or 250 off down here, and wait till we maybe come up towards that area that I was looking for. I said through the 40s, back up towards VWAP. So right at the time that you asked that, who asked that? Nate. I think this is a safe spot. Gun to my head, if I had to throw another TP on here, it's up here. It's that we took everybody out. We faked everybody out now. This looked good. Through VWAP, sellers in, continuing lower. And then look what we do, right? The NQ trade was this was way too aggressive. I was not going to survive a wick down here. I had a limit long somewhere in here, down into this area. That got smoked. Big aggressive selling pressure, but here we are even in MNQ, 80 points, 80 plus points, 335 ticks off the low. You know, that's pretty heavy, but this is pretty volatile. It's pretty volatile. So, let's see. Let's see if we continue and turn this into a bullish day, right? You know, that's a heavy reversal, right? Can we just turn back down from here? Sure. Like, for sure. This could be just crazy, you know, back and forth price action. We just continue to sell off, but that we're putting in a huge bullish engulfing 15-minute candle here. Complete reversal, coming all the way back up through VWAP. This looks like we want to continue. So let's see what we get. Not done trading with you guys. Got some nice profit. Slowly but surely digging these back out of drawdown, and happy to do it live with you guys to talk about what was not working, right? What for me was not working, the adjustment that I made. It was in trade management. Entries the same. Nothing changed with entries. Really nothing changed with the tools that I'm using. It's just strictly trade management. Here, let me leave that up actually. I'd say, yeah, I'd say like the 50s, yeah, way up here. Let's see. Let's see how that exit looked, right? Let's see what that trade management looks like. For me, holding past a 1-to-1 for a move through VWAP, right? When I'm in profit, I think that's towing the line a little bit for how much I want to ask out of the market, right? I don't need, you know, 20 points on a 10-point. I don't need 25 points on my 10-point stop loss for the most part, right? Around the 10 is going to be solid. Maybe some days it's 8. Maybe some days it's 12, like today. You know, but asking for like 25, 30 points with a 10-point stop loss, you know, you're going to generate a lower win rate. Maybe you have great entries, but I'm not looking to always catch a huge reversal like this. Man, this thing is strong. This is strong, boys and girls. Very nice. Very nice. So, yeah, no complaints. But again, you know, what is my win rate today so far? Really, it's 50-50. And a little bit of profit if you consider, you know, that NQ trade. I just happen to be copy traded on these ones, looking at ES. So, you know, nothing special, nothing crazy. You put your trades on, you let them play out. I'm ending up, now that I'm gathering a little bit more data on this, I'm ending up with a pretty decent win rate. A win rate, you know, into the mid 60s to 70s. Same with these pre-market trades. I need that high of a win rate to support a modest risk to reward, because it's not a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 risk to reward, right? Ending up just a little bit positive. I was reviewing the stats with you yesterday. You know, if something goes pretty well, maybe it's a 1.2 to 1.4, you know, that type of deal. Average win-loss ratio. So that's the thought process. So here we go. Let's see. What was the chat saying? Yo, bookmap connection. Okay, we talking about that. Hold. Hodl. Hold on for dear life. Great entry. At least move stop loss plus 5 points. Oh, nice. Wolf brother, good morning. How are you? Green took shorts down. Awesome. You guys were talking in chat. Very nice. Very nice. No trades, evals for me. Last 3 days playing with one troll account. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Xmas up over 1 week. Done combines. XFAs. Xmas. The Xmas's are up over 1K. Yeah, so let's see. We got above VWAP. We got above VWAP. Do we come all the way back up? Do we turn this into a big bullish day? You know, what do we get up here? I don't know, guys. Is this like bulls back in town and we rip through the high? Like I think we could do that. Like if we were going to move higher, right? If we were going to come higher. I'm laughing because this market is just so entertaining to trade. It can be really frustrating, but it's also really entertaining. Like, so are we going to continue downtrend structure here after that huge pullback up and just come right through this low and sell off? Are we just going to chop around VWAP, or are we going to pull one of these? Are we going to pull a pullback down to prior day high, prior week, overnight low, sweep everything, and then blast off? Like, is that what we're doing? Are these just clean out moves, and then we come back up? So far, no follow through to the downside. You know, we come back down through. This is going to look really good all the way back down to the 6400s. But I'm interested to see if we do the crazy sell off at the open and then rip back up through the high, and we are in for like a nice grind higher into the afternoon. I'm really curious to see how this plays now. I'm actually really curious to see how this plays. Again, I'll show you guys bookmap, and I'll show you what really stood out to me on that trade, right? I was talking about cumulative volume delta, and again, this isn't magic. It doesn't work every day, right? It can work against you, but I'm going to show you bookmap because in this instance, it really gave me some added confidence that we were going to find buyers down here. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this. Again, you can go back into the live real time, right? This is, not the hindsight stuff. I don't always say this. I said it multiple times today because it was pretty interesting. Let me get this banner out of the way. Now, cumulative volume delta for bookmap, it's anchored to whatever spot you start and whenever you have it reset. For me, I start my bookmap chart around the same time, pretty early every day. So we're selling off really aggressively, right? Really aggressively into the open. CVD drops off really heavy, and then look what happens as we cumulative volume delta again down here. Look what happens as we pop back up on this move, not coming all the way outside of the highs. Cumulative volume delta grows very aggressively, and we get a divergence here, right? That's really what this would be. This would be a divergence if you were looking at it. Growing cumulative volume delta while price really didn't jump that high, and then as we continue to come lower, really held pretty nicely. That was looking pretty ugly right there, and CVD dropped off. So that actually, like I was saying, looked a little bit sketchy, like we might get a quick stop loss, but quick recovery on price and volume, and then we continue to find volume growing to the upside. Now, again, it's not like traditional volume or volume bubbles that cumulative volume delta is giving you the difference between, exactly what it sounds like, the difference between buy and sell aggressor volume, right? If we have growing price, right? Price pushing to the upside on a growing cumulative volume delta, showing that buy volume is stronger than sell volume. Those two things are aligning. That looks really good for a sustained move. Conversely, if, for example, we are pushing higher like we've seen, and I actually called this one out in Discord, it was one of the gnarliest divergences I've ever seen. We saw an insanely low and declining cumulative volume delta on price just trickling higher. Oftentimes we get the move. We get the move, to the reversal, right? So this was some added confidence and just a little bit of an explanation, the very simple way that I use cumulative volume delta. Again, you can go into detailed market mechanics and the narrative behind what's going on and why. I'm a pattern recognition guy, right? And if we sell off like this and then start to bounce, and instead of doing this, we sell off and we get a negative, 5,000 cumulative volume delta, that's not going to give me any kind of confidence like the way that it did today. Now, I'm not relying just on cumulative volume delta or bookmap in itself, to look for a trade and to put a trade on or not put a trade on, but it can certainly help, and it's interesting to pay attention to, at least for me. Orders coming on and off the book. This has been heavy. This came on, like I said, a little bit sketchy right after I was talking about this, down to the 22s, and now it stayed on. Looked pretty sketchy. I said I didn't love getting long above this. Not a warm, fuzzy feeling having a big stack of orders down here that didn't get filled, but I was looking right at the 30s. Where did that entry come from? Yeah, right down at the 30s. Right down here. Played pretty nicely. We took that. We did have to sweep lower on whatever the hell this was. Then came all the way back up. Now we're chopping at VWAP. VWAP at 64.46 on my chart here. Trading 64.45. Yeah, really right at VWAP. So let's see if we want to crack to the upside. Maybe go and hit that upper target that I would have been holding for. Or if we do indeed sell off all the way down through, and we can kind of take a look at what trade management looked like specifically on this trade. come back over to the candlestick chart. But we got ourselves a W. Got ourselves a W. Ugh. Got ourselves an L and a W. 1 for 1. 1 for 1. Let's see, chat. Yeah, you guys were talking about the 50Ks. Risk reward is so worth it. Yeah, man, I never trade minis. 50K makes more sense to me. Yeah, I like the 50Ks. Again, I don't know, man. I'm not the biggest math guy, but like I value things, right? The same way that we all do. It's hard for me to stomach the profit target to max loss, ratio. I don't like it. I think it's a much more advantageous move and a better deal for the most part on the 50Ks at most prop firms. We were talking about this yesterday. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, somebody let me know in the chat. But in prop firm accounts, you have different sizes of prop firms, right? Different size accounts, 25K, 50K, 100K, 150K. They are different prices, but the max loss limit to profit target ratio, how much room they give you before you lose the account versus how much money you need to take before you can take a payout or pass a challenge, for example, is not the same. It's not the same across different account sizes. What's also not the same at most firms is the amount of money you can take out once you hit the profit target. The percent of the profit that you stand to withdraw, sim profit, is different. And it's oftentimes much higher on the smaller account sizes. You could the obvious downside of the smaller account size is the max loss limit is tighter. Apple just objectively, the dollar amount that you have to work with is tighter. You have less room to work. If you're a solid trader and you're consistent, also you could say, well, I don't care. I just want to go for the largest payout. The larger account size is going to going to be the answer there. But I don't think it's a surprise. Well, I shouldn't be surprised that I opened up 350Ks with top 1 futures after trading primarily 150Ks and not doing jack what, and then immediately work towards profit and payouts on 50Ks. If I look at my personal just trading history with other firms, 90+% of my payouts are coming from 50K accounts. I said even with Top Step, I think I only have one 150K account that I've taken a couple payouts from. So, it's personal. It depends on what works best for you. But I made a video about it. I'm going to make more videos about it, and I think talk more about it because it's important to note. It's really important to note. We can look at it together on, for example, like the Top 1 site. You could look at any other instant funding firm or not instant funding firm, but look at how much money you can lose versus how much money you have to make to either pass a challenge or to get paid out, and then how much money can you take out relative to how much you made. Take a look at those numbers. Right? Compare that stuff, apples to apples. Major issues with TSX. Ask We Trade, FYI. You're having problems with Project X, AVS Phoenix. Let me know. I'm interested to hear that. So far, mine's looking like it's working nicely. But that's important to note, just like we talked about having a community. If we start to see that could be a problem. I'm not seeing it blow up in the Discord, so I don't see a problem. AVS might be isolated specifically to you or to maybe that firm. Let me see. No, I don't see any issue. Let me know if you guys are having problems with Project X. I'm curious. I don't see it. I don't see it on this end. Let's see what we got. Chat. Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I don't see it on my end. Everything seems to be functioning okay. Data coming through. Looks like swap around. Yeah, this looks okay. This looks okay. And I don't see it. I don't see issue on. I don't see issue in like my community, for example, or the other main like discords for the firm. So maybe it's designated to Top Step. They're having a problem this morning or something. I'm not going to go on Top Step TV, but they'd probably mention it there if they were having a problem. Let's see. Reversion off of VWAP. Pretty aggressive. Pretty aggressive. Came all the way back up. Are we just going to pull back down and then start to pop to the upside, or are we going to get some follow through here now? That looks pretty aggressive to the downside here. Started to sell back off. Let's see. Let's see. Getting bought right back up so far. Now, we come back up to VWAP and we turn and we come through this low. That could start looking pretty ugly. I'm trying to get I'm trying to frame. Yeah, guys, keep me updated on the Project X thing. If you guys have issues, I'm always interested to hear about it. And I don't want to be in a trade if if we have issues. But let's see. Nate, no permabear or bull. I try to be a surfer, ride the wave that's forming. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Micros, Micron Club. Yeah. Micros are cool, guys. Nothing wrong with micros. Let's see. Peace out. 475 across the accounts today. Great day. Nate. Very nice, brother. Lock it up. ABS is getting long. Interesting. Yeah, this is interesting now here, guys. I think we got a decision-making point. If you guys missed it, I got long down here, 32. This is my long entry. Played out very, very nicely. I took profit on the way back up, getting close to VWAP somewhere in here. We chopped around VWAP here. This would be kind of like final, like if I was gonna, if I was holding this trade, somewhere in here would be, final target on that. I'd be taking a look for that level. But I'm interested to see if we reject from VWAP here really aggressively, we come back down through the 40s, we could be in for a down day, right? We could be in for, or at least a farther push that back down below this low. So far, it doesn't look like we want to do that. It looks like we want to really continue this move higher. We came right back above the open, swept that, came back down. We've been hanging out up here at VWAP. We dropped off a little bit on cumulative volume delta, and we really haven't picked it back up here just yet. We got some liquidity right up here, 64.52 and a half. Here's the big levels I'm looking at by way of liquidity. 64.52 and a half right here, and 64.55. These two areas would be interesting to see if we come up here and grab this. Down below price, we still have that same those same stack of orders that came on the book at 64.22 right here, all the way down here. So I think we're going to move to one of those areas. When, how long it takes to get there, I don't know. I've been trying to frame another trade idea here. I really don't want it short. I definitely don't want it short after this. We come up here, this looks like to take everybody out, and we might be blasting through highs and just continuing to the upside today. So I don't think I want to touch this thing short. Really at all. And I don't know that I have a really nice long setup either. A continuation play from here to the upside wouldn't be bad if the thought is we're just going to go. So I'm kind of in wait and see mode. Took a W. We put some profit in these accounts. Not going to look to do anything too crazy. Wait to see what the market's got for me. But appreciate you guys hopping on. We got a bunch of people that hopped on, man. We started an early stream today. If you guys are new, my name's Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, something fun we do on these live streams, we give out 50K accounts. We give out straight to funded 50K accounts every week on this live stream. We got somebody funded. The person that won yesterday actually won before, so they've now have their second instant funded 50K account. They're getting close to, like, I don't know, probably $500-600 in value if you consider that there's not always a sale running. We don't know if we have one today. Random days, random times. You got to be on. Oh, there they are. Yeah, one yesterday. You get the account already? Z, let me know if you got the account from Top One. They're usually pretty quick, but sometimes it takes them a day. Let me know if you got it to email. Z won yesterday. Yep, got it. There we go. Getting people funded on these live streams. I love it. Z1 yesterday. We'll see. You guys got to hang out on the live streams. You know, it's for the people that are on here. Obviously, no purchase necessary. My stuff is free. I'm free 99 across the board. I run a 100% free trading Discord. More than happy to have you in there as well, guys. I'll throw that link in chat. Let's go ahead and throw that in chat. But feel free, like, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. Don't do anything. If you want a chance to win, there it is. Let me go ahead and throw this up. While we're watching the market kind of decide if it wants to sell off back through VWAP. Interesting. Let's see what you guys think. I'm gonna throw this poll in chat. I'm gonna throw this poll in the YouTube chat. What's up, guys? I'm gonna throw. Let me know what you guys think. I just threw this one in YouTube. You guys think we're coming up to the 64.60s or next price? What do you think we're hitting first? 64.60 all the way up here? You think we are going to continue this bullish move, or do you think we're selling off from up here and we are coming down through these 64.22s? Here's my I don't like this red. I'm gonna change that. That's too annoying. What do you guys think? I'm interested to hear what you think. You guys, team bull or team bear on this one? We got a poll in YouTube. I'm genuinely curious. Always curious to hear what the chat thinks. We got 23 showing on Kick. We got 40 showing on YouTube. We got 32 showing on X. We got a bunch of people on the stream. What do you think? You think we're hitting the 422s or the 460s next? Looks like we're selling off from VWAP back down through this level here. So bulls look like they're getting tired. Do we come back down through this low and really just rip lower? Is that the move? Let me know what you guys think on this one. Were shorts from VWAP the play so far? So far, that little scalpy move to the downside looked like it would be paying if you were getting short through VWAP. We got buyers stepping back in. This is interesting. Yeah, I think we got decision making time here. We gonna come lower through this low? We gonna blast off, or are we coming back up through VWAP? If we see buyers take this back up here, I think we're continuing higher. But I really don't have a good indication here. I think this could go either way. Gun to my head, I would be long. Gun to my head, I'd be long on this one if I had to. I just these markets have just shown so much damn strength, but we came up here 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, and now we've kind of just hung out, found sellers, dropped off volume a little bit, and pulled all the way back down past the 40s. Continue lower on this, I don't know. I think we could be going down to those 22s, check that level out. Let's see. Okay, so chat, you guys are 62% you're bullish, 62% you're looking at the 6460s, but if I read the chat, Money Reaper says selling off. Does he make money with that prize? Come on, show it. Come on, the show was there you go. Yeah, yo. I hope you guys do well with the accounts that we get given out. Between at least 64.30s, maybe 64.34, 36, then back up, and then maybe back down. Maybe. Yeah, I could see prior day high getting hit again. Maybe this was a level we returned to. Again, we come back up here. Starting to make a decision here. We got to do something. We come back up here. This is going to look good for a long. We start to come down through this low. I'm interested to see what happens if we see a lot of aggression through that. That's going to look gnarly to the downside. And then Trader Julie Kate is bear. is looking looking bearish. Time will tell, chat. Time will tell. Yeah, taking a look at Bookmap, man. CBD dropped off. This don't look too good, guys. This looks like we might be in for some selling pressure. Again, not a massively clear indication either way. I think this could start to pop to the upside again, and if we come back up here, it's going to look really, really bullish. Right now, looking weak, looking like we want to sell off. Again, we start to come through those mid-30s here. This is going to look dicey to the downside. Take a look at NQ. Yeah, NQ looking even weaker. Coming down, getting ready to break these lows. Taking a look around the horn at YM for you guys. A little choppier. A little bit closer to ES. Not quite selling off just yet. Not ripping lower just yet. Not ripping lower just yet. We'll see. We shall see. Let's see. Looks like a long plus day if you ask me. Just going to have a lazy start in my opinion. 11 a.m. or not so far at all. Wanting price to put for the puzzles to put the pieces in place. Yeah, I think we could. I think we could go. This is interesting though. Came back up to VWAP. Chopped up here. Found sellers. We're starting to drift lower. Obviously, volatility momentum started to die down. Again, if we start to come through, I mean, I don't have a short play on this, but if we started to come through, with some aggression here, this could get ugly. I think we could quickly break this low and come down and fill this. But right now, this looks like we might want to drift higher, man. Selling off down here below VWAP, but not really able to sustain any of these like aggressive movements on volume lower. They kind of start to get held up by buyers. So I'm interested to see. I don't have a strong conviction either way, which is why I'm not jumping into anything right now. But I am interested to see what happens down here. I think we start to come back up above VWAP. It's either going to be one more test before I move lower really aggressively, or or more likely, we're pulling this move. Boom. Push up. Higher low. Higher high. Boom. Something like that. But we'll hang out for a little bit, see if something else sets up. We start to get some movement out of this market. I could look for another one. We shall see. But let me know what you guys think in the chat. You guys responded to the poll. Yeah, it's not a really big skew. A bunch of you guys voted. Only 60% are 64-60. The other 40% are 64-22. So you're almost split down the middle. Not a whole lot of agreement out of you guys as far as which way we're going, long or short. Almost half and half. Let me know in the chat what you guys are looking at. If you're trading ES, if you're trading ES or NQ or even YM, interested to hear what you guys think. Guys looking long on this. You looking short. You're saying, you know what, this is looking kind of choppy now. I don't know. We could just start to drift. I'm not going to do anything. Let me know what you think. Oh, shoot. Reading a couple messages here, chat. As we chop around these 64.40s, we gonna make a decision here, man? We gonna do something, market? Or was that it? Yeah, that's looking kind of weak, guys. That's looking a little bit weak, chat. Let's see. Back through the 40s. Near prior day high. We gonna sustain one of these moves to the downside and start ripping lower? Taking a look at NQ all the way back down to the lows. Take a look at YM with you guys. A lot choppier. But yeah, ES looks like it wants to break down. All right, here we go. Let's see. Looks like we might want to break down lower. Looks like we might want to break down lower. You should hold a trading. You should hold a trading competition for a funded account on practice accounts. There it is. Feels the market's consolidating, waiting for something. It does. If it's going to turn bull, it has to do it now, or it's all bears. Atlanta Fed GDP is coming out. Yeah, interesting. I think if we start to come down through this low, man, it's going to get ugly pretty quick. I think we're down to those 422s and then maybe even lower here in ES. That looked like we were going to turn to the upside, really see some continuation. Nice move back to VWAP. Really clean movement out of that market. Prior day high, prior week high, overnight low, getting taken, and then right back up to VWAP, which is why I got the W on that one. I wouldn't be too excited if I held on to that from all the way up here, right, where I took profit, looking for this movement out of the market and then all the way back down. So no complaints on that side. But let's see if we are really going to just sell off here. That's going to be the movement for the rest of the day, or do we find buyers again? I don't know. This like sell-off isn't super convincing. Unless we break, we usually don't take the stair stepper down. It's usually stairs up, escalator down. Kind of waiting for the cliff to happen, but hasn't really happened yet. Kind of just chopping lower. I'm sorry, you are more confusing than helping. Okay, you can dip out, my friend. I appreciate the feedback. If that's your feedback for me, I will take it on the chin. I would definitely say do not tune in. If you're getting confused about anything, then maybe I can clarify what it is you're confused about. But I give my input on the market right now. I don't have direction. I have nothing out of this. No trade. I took one W. Maybe you can scroll back earlier and that can be helpful. You can ask me to clarify why I got long and why I exited the trade and took a W on here. Yeah, feedback is feedback, so I'll take it on the chin. But yeah, if any stream you're watching, including mine, is confusing you and you're not finding it helpful, then I definitely would not not tune in. If you have a question about something specific, I'm more than happy to answer. But maybe it's just the way that I'm talking about the market, just watching it drift lower. This is really a whole lot of nothing for me. Not trading from the extreme, pulled back down to prior day high, overnight low, prior week high, right? Nice test of the level in an uptrend, pushed back up to VWAP, got that beautiful long 32s, I think that was the actual entry, 32s all the way back up here to the 45s, nice and clean. Wasn't sure that it was going to continue. We didn't continue. We've just been drifting lower. Now at this point, I think we can go either way. I don't have any direction, right? Which is why I'm not putting a trade on. I hope that's clearer. If framing the trade idea, if what happens next, maybe I'll take a trade. I've got two levels marked in my chart, right? 64 60s, right above that high. I'd be looking 64 60s. Or 64 22s. Why 64 22s? Coming down into the next area of high volume. Big stack of orders sitting here on the book. We've got 568 orders sitting on the book down here at the 64 22s. We got another 226 right below on the book. I call it the book. On any depth of market chart, you could see that. That's live liquidity. So I'd be waiting for a sell-off down towards this area for if I was going to look for another really aggressive long. Probably be looking off of this area. It'd be a sweep lower and a push higher. But not as great because I already took that trade, right? I'd be looking at it now a little bit differently. Instead of right off the open, we just sweep lower and come higher, right? It's not that movement. Now it's this. Now it's sweep lower, come higher, and then sellers take it all the way back down lower. Do I think we just do that? Not as common. Whoa, I don't think we do that. Not as common. So I'd be a little bit more cautious. So no trade on. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at 10:42 a.m. Eastern. Appreciate you guys. Sounds that confusing. No more time in the market is the easiest to understand. I appreciate you guys. Definitely relaxing. Yeah, man. I try not to be. I try not to be too crazy on here. I try to have fun, but yeah. you guys are funny. Thanks for all the defense, guys. It's all good. No worries, man. You know, I'm not gonna be for everybody. I respect that, right? You know, maybe you're not gonna like the way that I trade, or I'm not gonna be super clear for you. That's okay. That's okay. Thanks, mate. Enjoyed you. No, I appreciate you. Respect Zach sticks to his guns. If he's ain't in a trade, he's telling you he has no interest up or down. Yeah. Yeah. And again, I've had no trade sessions on here, and I've kept myself out of losers. I know that's not fun to do. This is 2 trades on this session so far, right? So I'm waiting to see if we get something. Like, I'd be really interested if we started to sell off really aggressively, what happens around the 422s. Like, that's kind of what I'm waiting for. If we started to really aggressively pop back up, I would potentially consider it long. Like, if we found a lot of buyers and we really aggressively started to pop, I would consider it long again before this level, maybe. But right now, it's nothing. You know, until we get some movement and some volume, or a key level hit. Whole lot of nothing. But that's all good, guys. All good. It's funny. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got coming out of Bookmap. Yeah, a little bit more of a growing CVD now. We got some orders right down here at the 30s. Not a big surprise, down around prior week high. Are we just gonna chop? That's option number 2, right? Coming back over to forexfactory.com, financial news site. I don't use a whole bunch of fundamentals, but I do like to pay attention to when we have news, when we don't have news. We got a big day tomorrow, right? So we didn't have a whole bunch moving on 8:30 a.m. We got a big day tomorrow of news, right? Pretty heavy as far as news goes. NFP and FOMC, in my mind, along with unemployment. A couple other ones could be pretty heavy, but FOMC and NFP, I think most would argue, are the highest impact, on the market. Right before that, a lot of times we see consolidation and chop, right? So maybe this is all we were going to get out of the market. Maybe. I could definitely see the drift higher. I could see a sweep lower. I could see the drift higher. I don't think we have a huge directional movement out of this today. We started to get it to the downside, so I could be completely wrong. But NFP tomorrow, we kind of looked like we were going to sell off back to VWAP. Now just slowly drifting lower. Maybe we pick up at a certain point. We get a crazy afternoon reversal or a crazy afternoon continuation. NFP tomorrow, though, that could be a reason for some chop. Let's see. Gotta have a nice 50-point short on Nas. Nice, dude. Nice. Actually inspired me to take less trades. Yeah, that's solid. Possible reversal here to the upside. Kobe Clark, let's go. Yeah, very nice, bro. Very nice. No, listen, guys. I think most traders are not waiting as patiently as they should be for their setups to come up. If you ask me, do most traders overtrade or undertrade? Most are going to be overtraded. Just from what I see, what I've found myself in the past, most are just taking far too many trades. They're not waiting for a clean setup, and they would be doing a whole lot better if they just hung out, waited for something really clear on the chart for them, right? Their approach, not the way that I trade, but the way that they trade, whatever that exact thing that they want to see happen on the chart. And I find it myself. Most days, if I go, I want to get a trade on, I'm in, and I just jump into it, I'm way more likely to take a stop out and then watch the thing do what I thought it was going to do, rather than just waiting. So, it can be helpful, not for everybody. Some traders are going to do much better getting really, really aggressive. But I think most are overtrading. Don't have that many opportunities for your edge to present itself in the market. Most are just overdoing it. Let's see. Yeah, watch this come to the downside. So here we go lower. Here we go, continuing lower. Filling some liquidity at the 30s. Interesting to watch CVD here growing cumulative volume delta as we are selling off. Looking like we want to come and take this low out. Would be interested to see if we don't. Really, not a declining cumulative volume delta like I was talking about before. So what that's telling me over the last 5 to 10 minutes, buy volume even as we are dipping lower. Buyers are really heavily getting involved in this. Let's see. Kobe called out a reversal, got out of his short. Looks like NASDAQ for now. Yeah, NASDAQ's still drifting lower, putting lows of the session in right now, trading the 23,600s. Nice round psychological number. Yeah, we got some buyers stepping in here. A little bit of volume getting traded. Decision-making time, man. Are we coming through this low, or are we going to push back up? This is slowly drifting. Looked like maybe we were going to try something here. Maybe buyers were going to take it back up. But so far, sellers still taking it lower. It's, again, no direction for me. That's kind of my commenting on the market. No trade for me. No big push higher on volume off of one of these levels, indicating that we're not even going to come down, take this out. We're just going to continue up. No massive selling pressure, just this slow grind lower off of VWAP. If you had a bearish bias today, I think this was a nice opportunity to get short. We traded 5 points above VWAP. If you're a VWAP trader, nothing wrong with that. Definitely nothing wrong with that. Kobe Clark, you're the leader now. Kobe Clark is our leader. Zach, hate when the market has a late start because I got crap to do. Yeah, no, I hear that. Yeah, the NYSE session has been interesting. We've had like news in the afternoon. If I look at this, right, from yesterday, where's 9:30? Here's 9:30 open, right? This is yesterday's price action. Here's 9:30 open. What the hell did we do for like the first 3 hours of the day? Wow, so nice, guys, beautiful. This is FOMC, but huge movement. We've kind of seen a lot of that. We got some selling on this day here, but not really until over an hour in. Actually, over this time. Right now, it's 10:50 a.m. The market off the bat for the first couple hours, 2 days ago, pretty choppy, right? So we've kind of had these choppy opens. I think we had some movement here. Not really. Here was 9:30. All the way, we started to move after this time that I'm trading. We started to finally move at 11:30, right? So yeah, the market's been really choppy off the open. Really back and forth choppy off the open. Here's another one. What the hell is this? Where's 9:30? Here's 9:30. We started to get some movement through 12 o'clock, but when did the big trend pick up? When did the big, nice, real movement of the day happen? Into the afternoon, right? We're stuck in a 8-point range for the first hour of trading. Even longer. Hold on one second. Yeah, first hour of trading. So, interesting. Here we go. Some sellers coming in, trying to take this bad boy lower. Let's watch the 22s. I'm interested to see the 22s. Oh, excuse me, guys. We got sellers in for now. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, excuse me, guys. I need a cup of coffee. Yeah, I don't know. I'm holding a I'm holding a bullish bias on this. I don't know if it's going to be healthy, but I'm holding a bullish bias on this. I don't think that we sell off. This market has just been so strong day in and day out. Um, I don't like this short. I'm definitely not looking for a short continuation. I'm gonna show you guys bookmap. Show you what we got going on bookmap. So we got a couple things happening. But bears are taking it lower for now. Let's see. Gonna share my bookmap screen here. This is what I'm looking at on bookmap. So this is where my line is on that chart, 64.22s, because that's been on the book really all damn morning. 9:31, I think I came on. Yeah, 9:31, right? That's a nice stack of liquidity. Then over here, 10, 15, 10, 12, we had some more start to stack up, and now as we're coming lower, we got some more filling up here. Again, I know we are moving lower, putting a lower low in. CVD is not dropped off, really not dropped off. As you can see, we have another divergence going on here. You know, again, that doesn't always play out, right? No tool's 100%. They can work against you if you're reading them and they're not, not helping you, not coming to fruition. But I don't know that we just absolutely sell off when we come all the way back down to like the 6400s. That could be a much lower level if we really start to. But I'm interested long off of this again. Call me crazy, guys. The first one paid. Let's see what the second one looks like. Let's see. Got out of my trade a bit early, I guess, but I was happy. Yeah, no problem. Dude, 2 to 1, 1 to 2 with $400. Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem, man. Right? I could have grabbed another $100 out of mine, but not a problem. Glad of my, happy with that exit around VWAP, right? Because this would have been a stop out all the way to back down. So not bad. I think it's late to get in on the short train. Yeah, you'd be selling off the lows for sure. YMGC, much he's in ES. Yeah, Grizzly's in the building. Kobe has to out trade the chair first. I like to listen in just for these kinds of coaching moments. I trade NQ and YM, but yeah, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys being here. For sure. Listen, I talked from the beginning. I try to repeat this stuff. Maybe I should repeat it more. I've been in the markets for a while, right? I think I got some juice, but I let you guys decide that for yourself because I trade live free every damn day. I certainly don't claim to be the best trader in the world. I don't think that I have it all figured out. I got plenty to learn and plenty farther to go. So if you're looking for some magic approach or strategy or entry signals, or somebody to tell you exactly what to do, I'm definitely not that guy. All right, not that guy. But I'm happy to show you what real trading looks like for me, to let you know what works for me, what doesn't work for me, show you the good, the bad, everything in between, right? Talk about adjustments and whether or not they're working, and do that day in and day out. I think that provides a lot of value, but one person here didn't think so today. That's not bad. That's not bad. Not going to provide value for everybody, right? That's important for you to decide for yourself. So watching this on bookmap, guys, a lot of orders buy side sitting here, right? Interesting. Ooh, that didn't fill. That got pulled. Look at that. We got real close to these 22s. They pulled it. Did they move it? They pulled this also. Do we come lower? We're going to get thrown back on the book? Interesting. We got some sell side coming on at the 430s. Huh. Chat. Very interesting. That was odd. That didn't even look like it was something that they didn't want to get filled because they left it on for so damn long. Usually if you're going to get something, coming off the book, it's going to look like that before you get really close. Maybe 5 or so points away. We traded directly to the 22s, though. Directly to the 22s. What was that low on the candlestick chart? Yeah, 64.22. Let's see what happens down here. Here's our NQ book map. Looks quite a bit different, but nice big stack all the way up here at this this round psychological number, right back up towards 23,700s. But staying focused on ES, this thing is slowly drifting lower. Slowly drifting lower. There we go. Now we got some orders getting filled. Got some volume being traded. Let's see what happens past these 15s. Man, short play off of VWAP. Yeah, there we go. Now we got aggressive seller stepping in. Very aggressive seller stepping in. I'm sure you guys are watching this on the candlestick chart. That's pretty heavy. NQ's tanking, somebody says. Let's see. Yeah, NQ's still been drifting lower. Sorry guys, got quiet because I'm considering a long down here. I don't think I'm gonna take it. I'll tell you why. I would have liked to see this stay on the book, orders fill, and then start to pop. We came through the 22s, right, pretty aggressively. Had we started to bounce here, maybe I'd be looking at it long. We came through 22s pretty aggressively, and we're pretty close to this level. I'll show you it on the candlestick chart in a minute. The 6400s have been a big, obviously, nice round psychological number, right, in ES. We've hung out here a lot. We've traded a lot of volume on the candlestick chart down here. We've already sold off so damn much. I'm concerned we could continue down there, but I'm long biased today. I'm typically fading the movement of, the 1 minute time frame in general. So you're going to see me going long as we're selling off a little bit, going short as we're pushing up a little bit. I really haven't given that up today. But I think I'm going to challenge myself to not take another one. I like this long. I like this long from down here. I do. And gun to my head, I'm long on all this, which is why I was long today. Twice. But I don't know. I don't have a clear enough indication that we don't come all the way down here. Oh, that we don't come all the way down here, because we just didn't find buyers off of this level that I was really looking for. So we could just continue doing what we're doing. Again, I just don't have enough. This is not a clear enough level, and this came off the book. I don't have enough up here to really warrant myself getting long. It would really just be too discretionary, and I don't have a really good way to structure risk because I'm going to have a stop loss here, right? If I got long up here, and I think we could easily return to this level and find buyers. So I'm not going to start just trying to buy on the way down, find the bottom by way of just luck. So for those reasons, I was getting quiet there because I was eyeballing it. I was really eyeballing it because I think this could be a good spot, but I don't have enough conviction here, and it's not off of enough level of structure, right? I have order flow helping a little bit, but just not enough on my candlestick chart to really warrant getting in here. So for those reasons, I'm gonna be no long. And Project X is lagging. What's up with that? Getting a little bit of lag with Project X. Bookmap still looks like it's working well. I don't like that. For you guys on Project X, is Project X loading up okay for you? It's frozen for me now, actually. Completely frozen. I will always tell you guys when stuff is working and not working, and that one was completely frozen. Oh, it's back. Nice. Growing CVD too. Yeah, this looks good. I'm not going to take this one, guys, but I do like it long. I'm not going to take this one. I don't mind risk and profit for the hunt of larger profit, but this one is looking good on certain tools that I use and just not enough on price action market structure. My candlestick chart. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere level. So I'm not going to try it, but I do like this one long. Maybe on a separate account, maybe something else. I'll find a spot to get long on. I'll throw it in one of the other ones, but I'm gonna wrap it here. I think that's gonna be it. Because if I sit here and watch this, I'm gonna be jumping into a trade soon. So I'm gonna take myself out. Take the opportunity off the board for me. Ending green in these accounts, 684 times 7. $4,700 day in these accounts with one $500 L and a 50K. Can't really complain. Can't really complain with that. So on that note, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Remember, we've got an account to get given away tomorrow. I got one for you guys tomorrow. It's not going to be today. Thank you for hanging out with me. Fun session. We got the early morning session. It was nice. Pre-market. It's pretty sweet. But anyway, guys, remember, quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a recommendation or suggestion to do anything at all. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Trading's very risky. Most traders do lose money. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top 1 Futures, code RDF, Bookmap, and others. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for hanging out on the live. I will see you in Discord. I will see you here tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, as always. Have a great rest of the day. Trade safe tomorrow morning. We got NFP, 8:30 a.m. Red Folder News, and then 10 a.m. Red Folder News. Be cautious tomorrow, chat. I'll talk to you guys. Be cautious the rest of the day, as always. Trade well, structure your risk, accept your risk on the front end. Talk to you guys tomorrow. See you in Discord.